Right, so we obviously let's speak about yesterday a little bit. Had obviously a relatively quiet morning yesterday morning. Nothing triggered. My markets obviously, as you can see, just went one way yesterday. But it's been tricky times right now, and obviously we'll go through that in a minute. In the afternoon, we were actually in the opposite direction to where markets ended up going. However, we managed it out brilliantly, and obviously, I think days like yesterday are a really good example as to how as long as you manage things right, you can obviously make sure that you are on the right side of everything. You don't necessarily have to be trading in the right direction to, make money in this market. And obviously, that was, one thing that was prevalent yesterday. So, not sure why this is my whole screen here. It's, oh, it's fine. Yeah, so. It is what it is. Right, let's have a look through everything. Where is everything? So, the dollar, all right? Dollar. Yesterday, we obviously pipped down, tapped this 99, and then we've made this massive, leap here. Part of it is the escalation, but obviously. I don't know if it's good or bad. Everything seems to be contained to the Strait of Hormuz. I think we had the US obviously disrupted um, some ships, and then also the Iranians sent drones to obviously try and try and scare some of the US transportation vessels. So that's obviously escalated everything again. That's why, dollar has peaked up here. Now, what do I think's going to happen? And obviously, what normally happens, you obviously normally when you get a pump or a tap, right, you always get a return. All right, so that's kind of what we're trading today. I still think there is a higher probability that this will be tapped one more time than 99 here. All right, so that will be one tick for me, is that there's a higher probability this 99 500 is going to be tapped one more time. I'm not saying it's going to break it, but obviously we're trading the pullbacks. We're obviously not just hopping in at the top. We're trading the pullbacks, so it triggers our trades to then obviously take them to the upside. We're going with the overall, view here. Right, stock market is down. All right, that's one tick for us to go the direction that we want it to go. Yields. Right, I drew this traffic light, system. We had red, amber, and then green. Amber is, yields kind of relaxing here. We've gone straight back into the red here, so we're trading above 4.5% on, yields. That tells me there is money back flowing in because it's been quite a swift, move to the upside here. So we've got the dollar tick, we've got yields tick, we've got escalation tick. So the stock market's down tick. That means obviously there's fear and worry. We've got oil up, back into this red zone here. All right. So, why would we be trying to, sell the dollar? All right. Because we've just, drawn up a pretty good conclusion here of where money is flowing, and obviously, more importantly, why. All right. So all we've got to then do is work out which pairs we're going to enter, and how we're going to enter them. So three pairs here, right? One is AUD USD here. Just obviously triggered our bottom entry here. However, I do think we might trickle up a little bit more, which obviously I'm happy with expecting. Trend. You can see kind of short-term trend here. Hopefully we're going to get something like this happen. That's an additional tick. All you got to do before you enter a trade, five to seven confluences. So five reasons why we've done stocks, dollar, yields, oil. You can obviously use these as four, trend five, and then that's when you keep on adding them. But utilizing this gives you four to five confluences before you've even started. All right. GBP USD currently running in a bit of drawdown as expected, but again, one thing we've got to look at here, we broke through these lows here, we broke through these lows here. All right. When we even broke through, you could argue these lows here. All right. So, we're expecting it to come up to trigger us. All right. This is okay. All right, but then we're expecting it to carry on and continue. I actually think we might tap into this area here. However, I didn't want to. Oh, sorry, someone started joining as I was drawing a line. This area here. However, we obviously have to be. I want to make sure because I'm a little bit indecisive, in regards to everything. So again, kept stops nice and tight, so it doesn't wipe us out. Euro didn't really fancy it. I feel like we've moved quite a lot, and unlike GBP, where lows are obviously down here, Euro we've kind of at these lows here. So I just thought pound has got a bit of a higher outlook here. USDJPY, let's go with this one. Yen is up on everything this morning. Um, not by much, and I'm expecting a move. I'm kind of expecting us to potentially be taking a yen short later on. However, as you can see with the candles here, so look at candles as volume and confidence only. All right, so confidence and volume here is slow. All right, or confidence goes with volume. Right, if there's a massive candle to the upside here, we can obviously have confidence that there's a lot more buyers. Yeah. All right. We can all agree on that one, but everything is very, very small. Yeah. Liquidity is small. So, yeah, that's obviously one thing that we've got to kind of focus on and stay away from for now. Gold, we didn't take this trade yesterday. I know it's caught a lot of people out this week. However, I am looking at gold here to come into this area. You can all see this wick. All right, you can all see this wick here. That's my kind of liquidity area. I had a couple. I had this one up here as well. However, I do think this one's a little bit high. So I was happy to, kind of to test the waters in this area. If we hit stop loss, there's a potential for this to break. And also, I didn't want my stop loss to be too big, so kept it nice and small. Um, so yeah, let's wait and see. What happens here. T Today we've obviously had a little bit of your Euro news, nothing major, but we do have a big US afternoon. You can see, look at all this data here. We got core PCE, GDP, durable goods, initial jobless claims, PCE, everything, continuing jobless claims here. So there is a lot coming out at +1 for the US dollar. Anything kind of good added in on top, who knows? But obviously, the longer this war goes on, the more inflation worries. I know we always speak about it, it's a bit of a boring topic, but obviously, the more inflation worries we have, so let's wait and see. I'm kind of angling either or here. But I think data's going to come out pretty neutral. And obviously, I do think that, like I'd said, my higher probability here is that the dollar is going to come, potentially tap into this area here. So potentially, if I draw kind of line here. Could potentially tap into this area here, and then return to our 99,500. And obviously, it's this move here that we're going to capitalize on. So yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions at all? Happy to answer. Let's just go through the chat here. Greg, where you? Which part of Spain? So, Porto Banús. Yeah, I've got my partners come out with me yesterday, today, well, and until Friday, and then obviously I've got a golf trip. So that starts on Friday. So thought might as well make the most of it. That's the beauty of what we do. We can work anywhere. So that is obviously the beauty of what we do. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions at all? I'm here. Happy to answer anything. Happy to answer anything. But yeah, let's just have another quick scave through this. Like I'd said, I don't ever panic anywhere within this, zone here. I'm anticipating this to trigger, so that's obviously what my target is. Gold, I really would like gold trade. We've had a relatively slow week this week. If we sort of load, there we go. Slow start for us. I want to throw in a good kind of good day. You know, t t today. Want to try and get this up. Joe, are we expecting a slow day? Um, no, no. I'm thinking that we're going to get a nice continuation. We've obviously had increased escalations. Obviously, any time oil, like I'd said, I drew this traffic light system up to obviously help everyone. And obviously, if you haven't watched the Sunday evening live, but obviously oil back in this above 90 area. That's always going to increase inflation risks. That's going to push yields up. That's going to push the dollar up. So I thought doing it as a bit of a traffic light, system would obviously help everyone. So how do you get that monthly view on TradeZilla? So it should come up automatically. So you've got this one here, all right, and then you've obviously got this one here. So you've obviously got two. So yeah. Um, does anyone have any more questions at all? Happy to answer anything. Send me a screenshot, Andy, of your TradeZilla dashboard, and obviously I'll help you because it's really really easy. So I'm happy to obviously help you with that. That's no problem at all. But yeah, right, guys, I'm gonna end it here. I'll keep you guys updated. And yeah, let's smash it. Let's smash it. Stay, make sure we're staying on point. Don't chase anything. Because all you always want to think about that Friday feeling. How do you want to feel at the end of the trading week on Friday? All right. Would you rather tick it along slowly, but have that progress where at the end you're obviously in a little bit of profit as opposed to potentially blowing an account. So that's obviously where we want everyone to be. So yeah, but no, have a great Thursday, and yeah, let's smash it. Have a good one, team.